Chapter 19. The Source. One fine day, Gonzo was out walking among the trees, thinking about stuff, and he suddenly heard the sweetest voice ever. He looked around and couldn't see anybody, but the voice kept on and said, "Gonzo, over here." And he could now hear that it came from one of the big old dates, and that was really weird. Was God's own nuts on earth really speaking to him? And Gonzo walked closer. "Come on, Gonzo. Lean up against me, and I'll tell you something." Gonzo leaned his ear up against that humongous man-sized date, and then he heard the nicest voice ever talking to him. "Hi, Gonzo. I am your friend." "What? Are you God? Why didn't you make me funny? With two buttholes and all." "Easy now." The date laughed. "I'm not God. I am your friend. And I'm here to tell you something. Do you want a story?" "Yes, yes, yes," Gonzo said, because he loved stories. "But," Gonzo said, "if you're not God, who are you?" "I am the knowledge of everything. I hold record of all informations of all time. I am the source. And with you, Gonzo, I would like to share some of that knowledge. I know you want answers." "Yes, yes, yes," Gonzo almost shouted. "I've got so many things to ask about." "Okay," the source said. "Lean back, my friend, and I'll take you on a ride." And the source of all knowledge started talking about the whole wide world and all the funny stuff in it. And Gonzo loved it. And the source was such a good storyteller. And Gonzo wanted to know everything. But the source had to hold back, because he knew humans and their concepts. And within those they will find a comfort zone. And if you push it too hard, it's not nice, and the brain will fight against it. So the source knew it had to slowly feed Gonzo with a little information at the time, to bend the concepts. And the source knew that little Gonzo grew up in the valley, protected from the real world. So the first concept that had to be bent is the concept of not being alone on Earth. And that was a really tough one for little Gonzo to take in, and he asked, "Does it mean that all Grandpa Rusty's stories are true?" "More or less," the source said. "Also the one with all the mean black Negroes stealing ships, traveling around the world, taking good hard-working men's job." "Yes, Gonzo, that's unfortunately also true." And little Gonzo had a real strange feeling inside and felt really confused. Almost like it hurts a little. "That's the feeling you get when you're changing your concepts," the source told him. And that was a real big change for little Gonzo. But he wasn't afraid. He loved it, and got thrills down his spine from all the wonderful stories. But one day, when they were talking human history, one of Gonzo's favorites, he suddenly asked, "Why did you pick me, source?" And the source answered, "Think it the other way around, Gonzo. You picked me. You made it happen. You wanted answers. For that you need knowledge. And if you want answers as much as you will eventually get them. And Gonzo, you deserve to have all the knowledge you want." And now Gonzo got real excited, and the source told him about the universe and how solar systems will live and die again. And about how plants work and how it change energy from sunlight, and all the other beautiful wonders of the world. And slowly Gonzo could see how beautiful everything was connected. It was like someone had a plan. And Gonzo asked, "It seemed like everything is somehow under control. Is it God?" The source, who knew all about mankind, answered with such a question, "My friend, we are ready to go to step 2. But for now," the source said, "I want you to take a 7 days break and make all your thoughts fall into place. Remember, not long ago, all you knew was this valley, and now you know the whole world. But come back in a week and we'll continue." "Is there more?" Gonzo said. "You've told me all about Earth and history and stuff. I know everything there is to know. Trust me, Gonzo, my friend. There's a lot more." So Gonzo went home, thinking that a whole week was a very long time to wait. But maybe the source was right. and maybe he should let all the thoughts fall in place. The hardest thing he had to deal with was all the evil stuff that mankind do. He didn't know that evil was an option. All he knew about evil stuff was from Rusty's fairy tales. But the fairy tales have become real. And it was scary. Because all he had was the concept of love. And the concept of evil is really hard to wrap your brain around. Because it don't make sense at all. For someone who haven't seen it before. But first of all, it was real nice. And the source had told him about all what's going on the planet, and all about the universe. And it was all very exciting. And, of course, the other folks in the valley knew that Gonzo was spending all that time with the Dades. But they just thought that it was nice if he'd like to spend a little time alone. That's a human right. But Gonzo would never be alone again. And after a whole long week, little Gonzo woke up and ran out to the date trees, and his good friend. "Hi Source, here I am again," he shouted. "And I've been thinking a whole lot." But there was no answer. So he leaned his ear up real close to the date and he almost cried. "Where are you?" And Gonzo was really afraid that his friend was gone. But then he heard that well-known sweet voice from high above. "Hi Gonzo, my friend, come on up here." And Gonzo shouted back, "We are not allowed to climb the trees because God will rip my sister's arms off if I fall down and die." "Don't worry Gonzo, I will talk to God." So Gonzo started climbing that big old date tree right there on the brink of the Devil's Anus. And when Gonzo had climbed all the way up that big tall tree, he said, "Where are you?" "I am here, it's me, I'm a treetop today. I just love the view." And they were really glad to be together again. And they just sat there for a little while looking all over the nice little valley. With all the happy folks. The source broke the silence. "Sometimes it's good to see things from another perspective. From here you can see happy people having a good time in a beautiful green valley. And if you stand up and look to the right, you can probably see a little red goat devil sitting down that stinky anus being pissed off." And Gonzo was looking and thought he could see a red thing down there with pube hair, in the stinky anus right next to them. "See the difference Gonzo?" "But why is the devil so pissed off?" Gonzo asked. "Because," said the source, "that the date you're handling is keeping him in his jail. And he's really suffering down there. Look at him, covered in nasty vagina slime. Everybody hates that. And he can't help it. Nasty beaver juice just happened. If someone is mega super pissed off, does it mean that God is using us to make that poor devil suffer?" And Gonzo had tears in his eyes. That might be the right way to put it. But then God's an asshole. That might be the right way to put it.